So like, firstly, how do you kind of like build your team in Finesse Foreva? How did it all come about?
How did it come about? So I can't lie, bro. Like I gotta give you the full story to actually show you how we actually got, because it's a proper story, innit? But like before that, so after secondary school, didn't get the grades that I wanted. Obviously, periods I was excluded and whatnot, so I couldn't really get the grades that I wanted to. Because even when there were certain like little study groups and stuff, I couldn't go in it. So that hindered my grades. So once I left, what happened? Didn't have the grades to do the course I wanted to do at college, right? So I ended up just having to do media. So I didn't have no clue about media, what I wanted to do there. I just did it because my mum was like, you need to go to college, you need to do this. So I did a level 3. You know, from being on the media course, it was kind of like still mucking about, following the same patterns. So
Go on.
it's a bit raspy, dry in here. But yeah, was following the same patterns and that, and my tutor kind of just spoke to me and was like, right, like, if you don't fix up, you're basically going to be a bum, innit? Rub out, crash out. So yeah, so when he said that, I was like, right, I can't allow a next man to kind of define me and who I can be, kind of thing. And I was like, right, I remember like all them things that I was hearing in secondary school when people are like, oh, your son's got so much potential, oh yeah, It's like I'm hearing the same thing. So I'm like, right, like I need to actually make something happen. I need to do something about it. So from there, I was like, you know, let me take this thing seriously. And then what that did, it started opening me to opportunities. Like, so my tutor was a freelance director outside of college, so he started bringing me to stuff. And the first main gig that he brought me to was doing a shoot with River Island, innit? And doing that shoot with River Island exposed me to just the capabilities of the creative industry, right? And I was getting paid like what, £400 to shoot something for like 30 minutes, and I was shooting stuff for their website, where like, you know, you can look at the different looks and that. So now I was like, right, like, this is cold. And then I started doing store launches. So big artists are coming in from like America, Pussycat Dolls, Agro Santos, Tinchy Strider, stuff like that. So I'm in the store, I'm shooting content, I'm talking to them, and I'm like, right, like music, fashion, do you know what I mean? Filming, like seeing how it all connects. And I'm like, the people that are working here are wearing whatever they want to wear. Like people, like food's provided for, transport, and I weren't used to that. I thought growing up that it's supposed to be about like getting a job, wearing suit and tie, go to London, that kind of thing. So this was all new. So what did it do? It opened up my capabilities to stuff. So I'm going around to different things. So I picked up a job. I had a job with a magazine company called Disorder, and through doing that, I bumped into Shemai Edwards, and he was working for another company called like Box Fresh Media or something, and we was like at the same shoots. So he's getting content for the magazine company, but then on the same side of that, he's doing his F64 freestyle. So the artists that are coming through afterwards, he's like, right, let me do an F64 freestyle and that. And then I'm like realizing that what he's doing is kind of smart. So we got into talking about like leveraging what you have, do you know what I mean, and what you're around, rather than just doing one thing. Think about what else you could do. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, like, that's cool that he's doing that. I don't really want to do another freestyle platform, whatever, but I would love to incorporate what I know, which is music and film and whatnot in it. So after that, I started borrowing a camera. I'm shooting music videos. I'm saving up the dough. Saving up, building up like studio equipment. I'm chatting to JB now, because me and JB are like family. When his mum died, we kind of took him in as like, that's basically my brother. I went to the same church, played drums and that. So I was like to him like, right, like, obviously you can play drums. You started like kind of messing about with beats and that, like, we should just try to build a label or something, innit? So from there, it was kind of like, started saving up money. First studio man got, it was in my bedroom's crib in Streatham. And then after a while, I realised that man can't really run a studio and a business out of man's friend's studio, innit? Don't make sense. I'm sorry, bedroom, innit? Don't make sense, innit? So what did we do? Put in a proposal to my church building, right? And they had a floor which was like, they had like vacant rooms, offices and stuff. And one of them used to be like, someone rented it out for a hair salon or whatever. And obviously, because it used to be a club before that, where that salon was, there was like a booth for recording studio in it. And I was like, right, that would be perfect. So put in a proposal. I was about 17, 18. JB's probably about 15. Didn't think he was going to get it. Ended up getting the studio, and that was about man's first premises at like 18, whatever. Decided to stay in the ends, go uni, graduated in TV and film production. But it's like I stayed in the ends because it's like, right, man's got something to build. Do you get what I'm saying? So from there, man's recording different people in the area. Hardy Capros, Nardi Roses coming through. Loads of people that you see, like Vianney. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like one thing led to another. Someone's like, oh yeah, you should manage me or manage the artist. And because I could engineer, I'm engineering the tracks. I'm able to shoot it. Do you know what I mean? JB's making the beats. Like, man's putting it out. And someone's like, right, you should do an event. You should do a launch party. So man started doing like barbecue parties and stuff. Started doing house parties, hall parties. Then I started doing showcases because all the artists that I'm working with, I'm like, right, like, man, I need the platform to have this, you know what I mean? And I had so many different artists that's come through a man's platform. Central C, Stormzy, Hardy, Vianney, so many different people, do you know what I'm saying? It's come through Jords. And yeah, from there, it's just kind of really saw stuff. And then I was following people like Wiz Khalifa, Drake. I'm seeing Young Money. I'm seeing that kind of blueprint. We used to sit in the studio all the time and like just watching the videos, and like, wow, that would be so sick if we had that kind of lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Imagine like just doing music with the people that you've come up with, and you're flying around the world. Do you know what I mean? Selling out shows and stuff. You know what I mean? It was far fetched, but do you know what I mean? It was able to happen. Do you get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, so from there, like, it is long in it, but from there, it was kind of like, so SK and JB, we all went to the same school, right? And he used to rap. He actually used to be an artist. So he came to the studio a couple of times, and man's recording him and whatnot. Obviously, he's gone uni. He's come back to the ends, and once he's come back to the ends, someone then reintroduced us in it, or reconnected us, because I was moving studio, because we had to move because it got super busy. Obviously, you got people smoking weed, so when that weed coming, it's just causing a bit of aggro. Exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to break that down. Like, you can't stop people from smoking outside. The smell's gonna linger in it. Like, boom. So it's growing pains, but do you know what I mean? Had to learn to kind of operate without the safety net, if that makes sense, or familiarity. But and at the time, because I just graduated, I'm reading books and stuff like that. So I was reading different books, and I read a book called Rework, talking about like, don't be afraid to start again, don't be afraid to rebrand. So from what we made then, it was called KSL Music, rebranded it to 104 Forever, right? So when you email, you see the domain, it's like 104 Forever, and we called it that because where we started was at 104 White Horse Road. So it was like, once we leave here, we know like this is where like we started, and this is where it kind of began. And it was kind of like Party Next Door had something called Something Forever as well, and it's that kind of hard. So yeah, we moved, found the next studio, and that came by chance, by me just going to a show, seeing someone, and she's like, oh, she got some space, basement, boom. Moved into the studio, needed TVs. I always rewired studios and whatnot. I love doing that. Do you know what I mean? That process and that. So once we were doing that, I was like, I'd be sick to get some TVs, and someone's like, right, you know SK in it? I was like, yeah, get me same school, same year. So reconnected us, shouted him, caught up with him in the caf. It's like, right, what you been on? He was talking about like he's been trying to do something called Finesse Entertainment, music label and whatnot, since he's come back from uni. He lost his pops as well. Do you know what I mean? So he was just trying to do something in it. So I was like, right, like, we should catch up separately and let's go out. So I invited him to hip hop karaoke. Do you know what I mean? Music. And after like hip hop karaoke, chopping it up, and I went back to the studio and just talking about like, right, we should just like kind of come together, work together, like, we're all from the same ends. Went to the same school, like, we know all the same people, we know what it's like growing up in Croydon and that. Do you know what I mean? We've been managed to like not get caught up in a lot of the dramas or crash out, do you know what I mean? So it just made sense, and it was like, right, if we put it together, Finesse Forever, it just sounds hard. 104 Forever, Finesse, do you know what I mean? So yeah, so he ended up like leaving some people that he was working with, put it together. Idea came about in 2016, 2017, got incorporated and that, tried to do it the right way, and he brought in an artist called IQ, And then from there, we had like bare other artists who was managing at the same time. When we first started, we probably had about 10 artists at one go. Do you know what I mean?